but you know, you heard me say a while ago that on 2nd and long, this is a patient offense. So West Virginia's defensive line, you see how bunched up. They're 8 or 9 around the box. They're not back thinking pass. They're expecting a patient running game. And so, therefore, the little chess match that's taking place right now has on that particular play, West Virginia's defense guessed right.
UConn last week did not get into positive rushing yards until well into the 4th quarter. So a 3rd and 13. And Grutza tried to get Vladar the ball on a screen. It wasn't going to go anywhere. In fact, he was probably going to lose at least 3 or 4. West Virginia had it pretty well sniffed out. Promising early drive stalls for Cincinnati. And they'll send their punter, Chet Irvin, out.
If you're trying to look at your offense, right, and the coordinator comes over and he's thinking to himself, all right, how did we do there? And he really did a good job. 3 and out with a freshman quarterback's not good with a lot of young guys out there. So, it's in between the numbers. West Virginia's defense bent, didn't break, but offensively you had some success that you can build on.
Irvin off a terrific game at Syracuse, averaged 46. He killed 2 on the 1-yard line, came pretty close here. He's the Big East Special Teams Player of the Week off that effort. 41 into the end zone here. 7-0 West Virginia, 5:43 in the first.
ESPN2's College Football Primetime is presented by the Nikon D50 Digital SLR. Incredible pictures made incredibly simple. And in part by Audi, pioneering Quattro all-wheel drive for the past 25 years. It's greater to lead than to follow.
First meeting is Big East rivals for West Virginia and Cincinnati. 7-0 Mountaineers. They have it for their second possession on their own 20. And Pat White, former 4th-round draft pick by the Angels, out of high school from Daphne, Alabama. His throw intended for Renaud and off his hands, incomplete. Pat White said the hardest decision of his life was baseball versus football. There was sizable money on the table, but he decided to go with one sport, and the sport he picked was football. And he says he's not going to look back. He's not going to be one of these guys that tries to dabble in baseball and maybe try the minor leagues and then come back at 23, 24. He's made his commitment.
The 3rd-team quarterback here has got a big background in baseball.
J.R. House, 25-year-old freshman, former Pirates catcher. Renaud hanging on to this one and driven out at the 28. First drive of the game, the Mountaineers marched, and a key play was White with this throw and shaking off that hit by Corey Smith.
And then the concentration, though, of the batted ball, and then the running ability of Slayton. The offensive line up front, little zone stretch, and everybody matched up. Nobody came clean defensively to even get a really good solid hit on Slayton.
3rd and 3. White looks up, sees no defender on the right side, and is run out of bounds by Smith, but not until he's got the first down and 4 extra. Tomorrow night, ESPN features 2 teams that are both undefeated in WAC conference play. Boise State looking for its 5th straight victory over number 20 Fresno State. College football primetime presented by Cooper Tires. ESPN tomorrow, 8 Eastern, also available in high definition on ESPN HD. Coverage begins with College Game Day at 7:30. Greg, we've seen both of them. That's a hard one to pick. Yeah. Maybe just go with the home team.
Home team, they'd have to think.
Not that much difference between those two.
If you're on the blue carpet, you're going Boise.
From the 34, first down, West Virginia. White well protected. And his throw this time dropped by Miles. He made the tough catch we just showed you, and this time misses one. White laid right into his glove.
But it was there, and it should have been caught, but it was late. White has to get back, and he saw it. He just a count late on his throw over and the timing, but you can see that baseball, whatever it is, he's got that arm that can throw the football down the field.
He's played both sports since age 4, and that was pad football at age 4.
In the crib.
They really start him early in Alabama. Owen Schmidt shows you why that face mask gets so gnarled, so banged up, and he goes through so many of them so quickly. That's one of the hardest earned 1-yard gains we'll see.
Oh, man, how about Dominic Rostow coming up, 49. Schmidt will come with it, and that's like two sandhill cranes trying to find the same hole.
Ross sets up a 3rd and 9 for the Mountaineers. Against a blitz, a diving attempt. Did he hang on? Complete at the 44-yard line for 21 yards. The catch made for West Virginia by Brandon Tate.
Wow, what a catch. Excellent blitz pickup. And Tate comes up with the catch. That one there looks like he's got it. Man, he reaches out with that right hand. The right paw just brings it in. We're going to review it here.
The previous play is under review.
I think the last angle we almost saw the entire play will be the best angle. The one from the end zone to our right. We'll show you everything we have on this dive by Tate. That one looks clean because I think he's got both hands under the ball.
Now, there's nothing conclusive enough to overturn on that shot there.
This is the one that probably is going to have the best angle, I think.
You know what, though? But his right hand is under the leather. It looked like the ball bounced, but it also looks like he has some hand under there. Oh, man, I just don't think it's conclusive enough. You know what, Dave? I don't know. You know, that's the word.
If he doesn't have control, he doesn't come up with it. It's going to pop out when he hits the turf. And again, this angle, I think, is going to show that he's got that right hand under it all the way and tucks it in.
I think he's got the right, yes. You see the glove, the grayness of the glove on the leather. I think the play stands as called on the field. And if that's the case, it would be the second 3rd down and long conversion that this offense has taken advantage of. The arm that time of Pat White.
After review, the ball hit the ground. Therefore, it is an incomplete pass. It will be 4th down.
What TV were they looking at? Isn't the word conclusive?
Indisputable, irrefutable, pretty much means the same thing. And this was, to our eyes, a catch, but not to the replay officials here. So it comes back.
I'll say this. They weren't in the booth long, were they? You know, at least they came up, made a decision.
Well, if you're diving and you don't have control, it's going to pop out when you hit the ground, isn't it? If you're in the position he was in.
For the two of us, yes.
Really meant you. Of course it's going to pop out at me. Phil Brady on to kick. First drive, they faced a 3rd and 18, helped out by penalty and a deflected catch. Took it in for 7. And we'll get a violation this time, crowding Haraki Nakamura, who was back waiting for the punt. 35-yard effort by Phil Brady as we wait for, again, Dennis Hennigan's call.
Kind of the over and under tonight on how many times you say Hakimura is what, 6?
Well, I hope never, because there's no Hakimura out there.
Yeah, whatever you said there.
Haruki Nakamura.
That too.
There is no penalty on the play. The kicking team member was blocked into the receiver. It will be 1st down.
Well, if that's the case, did he not touch the ball on the trying the attempted reception? Oh, interesting.
Evidently not. 7-0 in the first, West Virginia. Welcome back. ESPN2's College Football Primetime, presented by Nikon. 7-0 West Virginia. 3:52 to go in the first, as the Bearcats will have their second possession start at their 34-yard line.
That offensive line, Cincinnati got to stick with it. Keep matching up front.
Cincinnati, in its last game, rolled up 223 yards, or a couple of weeks ago, 223 yards against then the #1 defense in the country, Connecticut. This is a team that's had 29 different players see their first collegiate action this year, including 10 true freshmen, 12 redshirt freshmen. They have started 9 different true freshmen. And this is something that Mark D'Antonio saw coming, because there was a huge senior class last year. They only had 60 players in uniform for spring drills. 25 freshmen were on the way. So do the math. With 85, they had to hold that many spots out. And he decided real early that this season was going to have to be about throwing the youth out there to sink or swim very early.
Well, and if it's talented youth, it's a different thing. It doesn't matter. We've seen across the board throughout the country a lot of very talented young freshmen contributing in a big way on big teams.
Offset eye, Grutza. With Butler Benton carrying for the first time tonight. 3 different tailbacks. Bradley Glodar, Greg Moore, Butler Benton sharing time.
What a name, Butler Benton.
Sophomore from Detroit.
I like that name.
It's a tailback name.
That is a Butler Benton. And you know what? That little run there, 3 or 4 yards, didn't look fancy or anything, but it just gives you an indication of the success they're having up front with the offensive line.
Benton from Martin Luther King High School in Detroit, city champions. It's also really obvious when you look at their roster that D'Antonio is targeting players from winning programs. As Goodman looks to cut it upfield and has a first down at the 45. Dominic Goodman from a state championship program playing here in his hometown.
Pretty nice little throw there, wasn't it? You know, it's one of those when you just say, hey, well, that's not a nice throw. But when Grutza throws it out to the flat wide like that, leads just a little bit his receiver, and allows him to get up the field. I mean, that's just a little thing that coaches appreciate and need.
Grutza in high school, Mason County High School in Kentucky, 35-6 as the starting quarterback as he hits the tight end Selleck at midfield. And let's check for more on Dustin Grutza with Holly.
Well, Dustin Grutza is such an effort guy, which coaches love, that at his high school back in Kentucky, Mason County High School, an award was named after him by his high school coach. It's called the Dustin Grutza Extra Effort Award. He got it because he was always doing things away from football, off the field, after practice, and setting example. Guys, he's continued to do that here. He said he stays after practice almost every day to throw extra balls. He's getting that Extra Effort Award here, too.
Another 2-sport athlete, as White was in football, baseball. Grutza, football, basketball star. Looking for the cutback angle that never materializes. Benton hit at midfield. Dustin in basketball was 35-2 as the point guard for the state championship. And in Kentucky, they throw all the divisions in, as you know, Indiana is better known for doing.
He's a good athlete, and he's a competitor and a leader. You know, that's that ingredient that you can't really ever put your finger on, but you just know the kid has it. You watch him compete on a field, and it goes through the rest of that huddle.
4-point student throughout his high school career. That pass very close to being a backwards pass intended for Ernest Jackson, incomplete. Last year, in his redshirt year, Grutza learned watching that man, Gino Gaduli, all-time passing leader here at Cincinnati.
I enjoyed getting to know him last year, and this is tonight kind of a neat thing, coming back being an honorary captain in this game, and a lot of these young men look up to him.
Irvin set to kick this one away. Wobbler, a little bit off the side of his foot. It's going to work out just fine, though, rolling out of bounds near the 10. Pat White fills what has become really a traditional slot at West Virginia, that of the double threat quarterback. And you go back to the 80s, Major Harris, who took West Virginia to the National Championship Fiesta Bowl in 1988. Rasheed Marshall, the most recent example. Rich Rodriguez says no one has ever been faster at that position for him than Marshall, but Pat White not far behind.
And this early in his career, showing the ability to throw the football as well, that's going to open up a lot of rushing yards. Just ask Mr. Vincent Young about that.
First down, give to Schmidt. And Owen Schmidt bangs his way for a little breathing room out to the 50.